Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to win in 1v4 situations and just how to win against solo versus squads. And for the gameplay in the background, it is a 25 kill solo squad game that I got the first game that I played today. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on my notifications, and leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, if you guys don't already, make sure you guys have me added and supported as a creator. It's super simple to do. All you need to do is go to the item shop, then just tap X and hit support a creator, and then type in my code. It's the same as my gamer tag. Just type in Young Humor and you will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to win, 1v4 or even 1v3, just some tips and tricks to help you guys win some more solo squads, or maybe even a duo game if your teammate dies, you need to clutch it out, just how to win against multiple players in Fortnite. And there's a lot of different ways to approach when it comes to fighting multiple players. And of course, every single time that you go into a gunfight, you're going to run into different situations that you have to play differently, because not every single gunfight is going to go the same way because of RNG in this game. Some people are going to get some lucky headshots, sometimes they're going to miss every single shot. It really just depends on exactly what happens there, and you have to know different ways to counter and different ways to play it. But once you start to get that down, then you're going to become a pretty good solo squad player. You're going to be able to run up against multiple enemies and take them out pretty easily. And I'm not going to lie, off spawn is definitely going to be the easiest to do some solo squads. And I really didn't even see that trap right there. It almost killed me if I had 150 HP. But anyways, in the early game, a lot of times, a lot of players are going to be very spread out. So in the early game, you're going to be fighting maybe 1v2 at most, maybe a 1v3, if they all just land at the exact same building, which rarely ever happens. But most of the time, you're going to be running into just 1v1s or maybe even 1v2s at most, like I said. And in that early game, you're going to see me here when I got the first few kills that I took advantage and won a lot of my gunfights just because I had the wall edit. I was able to pick off 2 or 3 players right there at the beginning just from editing my wall and just getting some quick shots on them with my shotgun. So pumps, of course, are going to be essential for the early game, and as well just having, as much control as walls as you can and much control as structures, because that's going to be huge and for a lot of reasons. And most of the time when players are rushing you really hard, and a lot of times that happens in the beginning when they're just off spawn, maybe they make you weak, or maybe they're just some W key legends and just absolutely just run against your wall and just spray as hard as they possibly can. And in that case, one of the best tips I can give you guys when it comes to players like that, so for that kind of situation, it's more like you're on the defensive side, so they're rushing you really hard. It's not really the other way around. So they're rushing you really, really hard, and like I said, you have the wall edit. There's a few things that pretty much there's 2 good options or 2 good ways to play it. And the first one being is when you go for a window edit, and a lot of times, even if they're just sitting outside the box waiting for an edit, a lot of times you're going to be able to get off that window edit and even get that shot off even before they have time to react or even pull the trigger. So even if they're ready for it, you're still a lot of times going to be able to get that shot off immediately. And also another good thing that I like to do a lot of the times is when I have the edit is, so if they're just spraying against my box and I see they're pretty much not moving, they're just walking up against it and spraying, what I do is, so I hold down the build, and basically as they're shooting at it, because all they expect you to do is just sit in the box and turbo build. But after a little bit, what I do is, instead of just holding turbo build, because I'll hold that for a little bit, and after when they're not ready for it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the shot through the wall. So the second the wall breaks, I'm going to go for a quick shotgun shot. And I've killed so many players doing this because they're not expecting it at all, because you're sitting in your box turbo building, and then all of a sudden when they break the wall for like maybe the 20th time, you go for a shotgun shot and you can do a lot of damage. And of course, it's even easier on players who are not even really moving. They're just walked up against your wall, spraying and spraying and spraying, and you can line up that shot pretty easily and get a pretty simple headshot for a quick kill. That, of course, is one of the best ways to play when you're kind of on the defensive side and you're getting rushed. But if you're going up against 4 players, so if there's 4 players rushing your box, probably isn't the best time to do that, just because maybe at best you go for a window edit. But if you have 4 people rushing your box, the best thing to do is just try to go for high ground or just try to reposition, because if you have 4 people spraying at you at the exact same time, Staying in that box and trying to make a play from that box or pretty much the same area is going to be a death sentence every single time. So if you want to go against 4 players who are shooting you at the exact same time, the best thing you can do is, if you're maybe on low ground so the players are all around you, not even sure where they are, the best thing you can do is just try to go for high ground, try to connect as many structures as possible. Just make it really hard for the other team to shoot you out, and a lot of times you're still going to be able to. But if you can connect enough structures, and that's all you really want to do, is just buy yourself enough time to get a few shots off, maybe a few pump shots, a few AR shots. Just try to get any shots off on the other team as possible. And of course, the quick knock is going to be the best option to do, because if you're going right into a gunfight against a 1v4, you at least want to try to make, one player weak, or maybe even a knock at best. But I completely get that sometimes you get shot from absolutely no direction, you have no idea where it's coming from, and it happens all the time, and they get tags on you first. And that's pretty much exactly what happened here. There was quite a few teams that were coming up. There was 2 teams trying to push each other. So what I did is I went down a little bit, and then from this angle here, I got quite a few shots off. I was able to get a knock on a player and then finish off a second one. And so since I came up here, I had that one player knocked initially, and so the rest of his teammates were coming up. And since his teammates were coming, I went for the quick thirst, because if I didn't thirst that player right then and there, then I know for sure that guy would have got rezzed, because their teammates were kind of sweaty. They were building up a ton, and there would have been no chance that I would have been able to thirst a player if I didn't thirst him right then and there. And also another tip that I can give you guys, when you're going against multiple players, and even if they're kind of spammy or maybe not even spammy at all, one thing that I like to do is, you guys see it on a lot of my videos, and it's something that I did right here. I might have mentioned it before, but it's something that's super helpful, is basically if I'm trying to rotate, so if I'm trying to use a launch pad, if maybe I'm just trying to rotate to the next zone or just do whatever, I'm going to be using wood every single time. But pretty much unless wood is the only material that I have, I'm not going to be using wood pretty much any other situation, and here's why. So if I'm going against a lot of different players, so if I'm going against 3 or 4 players, I want to have materials that are the strongest. And when it comes to fights, brick and steel is going to be the strongest material. And not only is brick and steel stronger than wood, it also has an initial health that's stronger than both as well. So the steel actually has a higher starting health than brick, and brick also has a higher starting health than wood. So if you're getting shot at and you're using brick or steel, it's going to be much harder for it to be shot out than if you're using wood. And that's even true if it's just placed. Like I said, the starting HP of steel and brick is higher than wood. And so if you want to be able to, just go against other players without getting spammed a ton, you definitely want to be using brick or steel. Otherwise, your structures are going to be knocked out time and time again, because wood is so easy to break. And even after it's placed, trust me, you guys already know that breaking steel is such a pain. Breaking steel is super difficult after it's already placed, but breaking something like wood is pretty simple. It only takes like 3 or 4 shots, but something like steel would take almost an entire mag to break, so super annoying to break afterwards. So if you're building out of brick or metal, it's going to be very difficult for the other players. Unless you're trying to shoot you out initially, it's going to be so annoying and so difficult to shoot you out, especially if you connect your builds and all that. So it's going to be super annoying and super hard to shoot you out. So that would be also another reason why I would use brick and steel other than wood when I'm going into fights. But when I'm rotating, I'm just going to be using wood because it is the weakest material, and I really don't need to save it for too much. So here in this gunfight, I'm going up to the second to last team, and I know I knocked 1 or 2 of his teammates already. So this player I already tagged for like 70 damage when I shot him with the pump shotgun. So here I go for a quick edit play. I'm pretty sure he was ready for it. I barely miss. And the reason why I didn't go for the edit play again on the stairs is because it would have been too risky, because if I would have missed the shot, or if he would have hit me for a lot of damage, it would have been pretty hard to get out of it, because I would have to, re-edit the stairs, or maybe just try to jump up a little bit. But it would have been definitely a little bit too hard to do that, and especially if I know I'm going to get up against like a 1v1, and I know I already did a little bit of damage and they're kind of weak. I'm not even going to put myself in a position to try to get one pumped, because that is something that I feel like it happens a lot to me, and that's just something that I'm trying to prevent. So if it's a 1v1 and I'm going up against a guy who's one shot, I'm not going to try to be point blank as much as possible. Of course, they're sitting in a box or something and I need to push, or wherever the case may be, then of course I'm going to be able to do that. But if I have the option in the gunfight not to be point blank when the guy's weak, just so I can finish him off, I'm not going to be point blank, because I don't want to get hit for a ton of damage, or maybe even get one pumped and then lose the game, just because I just destroyed their entire team, and then I was just too close to the other player when I didn't have to be. So here I'm fighting the last team, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to maintain and keep high ground. I get quite a few tags on that player, and the reason why I didn't jump down yet right away is because I still had high ground and it didn't make quite sense. Because if I were to get a lot of tags on a player and make him weak and just jump down there's a pretty good chance his teammate could get shots on me as well. So even if you make a player weak, not every single time you want to jump down there to try to go for the finish, unless you have just a wide open spot to go for a kill. But most of the time when I make a player weak, or even if I get a knock, I want to keep my high ground and I want to try to thirst him or deal as much damage from high ground as I can, just so I don't have to jump down there and risk getting just tagged on by 3 or 4 guys. And with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. And if you guys could drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications, notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.